and the feedback about the sessions so that we can improve the program for next year. And so we need your input about how the sessions go, each leader immersion session, those kinds of things. So if you haven't given feedback, we're going to try to get this survey out for this session by the end of the day so that you can have access to it pretty quickly. So the lunch forms, did everybody order lunch for today? Yes? So those are going to be inside the calendar invite going from now on so that you can just click on it and order your lunch so you're not looking around for the lunch form. And then transcripts need to be sent to Mira Roberts. Everybody knows Mira? Yes. Okay, so we want to make sure we're still trying to calculate all of the GPA and grade point average so we give official transcripts for everybody that's in the program. And then for those people that are in the City of New Orleans program, your last time card is due on 7/30. So I have two other things. There's a couple different volunteer opportunities where I would like to get volunteers to participate in events. One is the Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. I sit on their board of directors. They have a golf tournament that's coming up. The people that'll be at that golf tournament will be from the Black Chamber and all of our members from various companies and corporations. So I would love to have as many students there to help volunteer so that you can potentially get connected and meet politicians, business owners, all that stuff. So it's a networking opportunity and a volunteer opportunity for us. And then the second volunteer opportunity that's coming up this year is the Society for Human Resource Management. They have a conference in September. And Dr. Ryan, do you remember the dates? September the 26th. It's a one-day event. That event is really all of the human resources professionals in the Metro New Orleans area are typically attending that event. So that is an opportunity for us to be present and connect with human resources professionals that are working in a variety of different companies. Many of those people who've gotten internships this year have come from my connection, Gretchen's, Dr. Miner's, to our HR partners or peers. And so that's an important part of the program, making connections and HR people knowing who we are and what we do and meeting you. So there are opportunities that could come from that. So then, that's all the announcements. So Kenneth, if you're ready to go to the next section, we can go next session.
Yes, let's get started.
While Kenneth's coming up, does everybody have a connection to GroupMeet? Is everybody getting GroupMeet? You have the app on your phone? Okay, you're able to see all the messages on GroupMeet from us? Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Jada okay now?
We have not been able to get a response yet from Jada, and that was sort of why we started to ask for emergency contact information from everyone, so that for whatever reason.
Is the Zoom hooked up?
I'm sorry?
Is the Zoom hooked up?
It is now. We were having trouble with Zoom.
Yeah.
But Zoom is up and running.
Okay, and is
Sydney and Charlotte were on there, and there are a few other people who I know are joining.
Marvell is in there?
Marvell just joined, yes.
Okay, and so we want to make them do their intros, or do we send them their?
Yes, we will send them to them in 2 seconds.
Okay.
We're just making sure everyone.
So we can
knows
do
about
their connections on the next.
Yes, okay. All right, cool. Because this won't take long at all. Culture statement. Dominic, Kevin, Benicia, thank you all. In your folders, you actually have these culture statements in there. And so what I wanted to do is ask for 2 volunteers to read the culture statements. Who wants to volunteer to read the first one? In 5 years, what would you like people to say about the Class of the 10th Institute? Any volunteers? Someone's gonna be voluntold. Anyone? John Driel. Never tired two in class. Come on now. John Driel, please read.
The Sealy, you want me to read the question too?
No, you don't have to.
The Sealy? The Sealy class of 2021 is full of young, determined professionals who are building their industry-related knowledge and experiences through internships and development sessions. The fellows hope and dream that one day others will be inspired by us to unify and achieve something extraordinary. It is a growth-focused community, and together we support our individual journeys in actualizing our potential.
Question. Do we think that we are living up to that? Show of hands. Y'all know I'm from church. I have to have y'all talk back to me. Come on now. Show of hands. Are we living up to our statement that we put together?
I like to think so, yeah.
Like to think so, like to think so. Can someone give me an example of how we're living up? Or an example that way we can do better to live up to this statement? So 2 examples. One, how we're currently doing it, because all of you just said that we were doing it. And then another example of how we could be better to live up to that statement. Kevin, it's your last day, so I'm gonna pick on you.
Okay. I do have an answer. I feel like you guys are living up to it because I think pretty much everyone or most of everyone has an internship or a job along the lines of something similar to their field. And then I think like the community aspect was really shown like when the reception happened with like all the business leaders and like the companies that CB partners with. And I think that's like a great example of how you guys are doing.
Okay, what about you all as a group of fellows? Are you experienced in this? Are you living up to the statement? Are you building a community amongst yourselves?
Honestly, I feel like we're all not like this cool tight knit bond. Like, you know, like you can only act so much to like connect with people besides like trying to reach out. Like I'm guilty of not reaching out as much to other people too. And we only like do meet once a month. So I feel like that does make it a little harder to like connect with people, but it's also convenient in the sense.
So what are ways that we could better build community? So, you know, everyone just said, you're leaving us to go to California, but you're gonna send us a bunch of pictures so that we could still know what you're up to. We have group meeting, we meet here once a month. What are other things that, as a group, we could do to really build community amongst each other?
That is a very good question. I'm like doing more things with the fellows in general, so like just getting to know one another, I would guess.
I think like, I think Perry is, or the opportunity that Perry just said, with, like the volunteering experience.
Yeah.
If it's like us actually like getting to like work and like do things together, kind of like forcing us into the same space. I think that's like a great way to connect with someone.
Yeah, because we have like a group chat, a side group chat, and they don't want to be posting no memes, and I'm just over here like, post some memes or something, you know?
I'm like, just post
So we
something.
could just like talk. We try to.
I want to add to that we created LinkedIn profiles, and y'all worked really hard on those. Most of you put a lot of time into it, and then you started connecting. I got a connection actually in the middle of the night last night from one of the Sealy fellows. So as Kevin moves off to California and others, you know, we're going to talk about a statement later, use SMART goals for after this program is done. I think kind of dovetailing in with that, we're going to go our separate ways at some point. So it'd be great to at least have this connection that you've already built once a month, or when you're in your group meeting conversation, posting or not posting, but you don't want to lose that, which you already have, because you've worked so hard to build these relationships. Because it's not easy, right? Meeting strangers and trying to find common bonds, and this is your common bond. So when Kevin leads us, he has everybody, right, connected in his LinkedIn profile, plus coaches, plus mentors, or whoever else we can build those relationships with. And I think that's a start, even if it is virtual. So 20 years later, if LinkedIn's still around, or other ways that you guys have found each other again, you'll say, remember those days? Because these are the days, right? That you guys got to meet each other and get to know each other at this point in your life. So you'll be able to keep those connections. And I would just strongly encourage you to do that, especially since Kevin's the first one to go out the nest, to at least make the connection with him today. It's his last day. So you have that connection, you'll say, oh, well, I wonder what he's doing. I wonder what he's up to, because he's about to do something really cool. So
Hey, Kevin, maybe you could drop your LinkedIn link in the group me chat.
What happened to your phone language? You like that? Yeah.
Anyway, what Ms. Gretchen is saying is we are teaching you to network, right? You're building these connections now and you're keeping them going. Because in a few years, I'm gonna call Kevin about a car, right? Someone wants to be a doctor. Benicio has to write my autobiography one day, right? Like, one day I'll
You do
be,
look like a doctor though. You look like you could be a doctor.
like, we have to build connections, right? So that one day we could go back and connect with people. So building community now with the people that you are around, because all of you will one day be something great. And I want to know each and every one of you when y'all are great, because I don't want y'all to forget me.
I would just like to say that, the notion of leaving the program is like, I don't think of you coming to the program and that, you know, you're attached to it, even as an alum or a professional, because there will be classes that come with beyond, and we'll be asking you as a professional to come back and be either involved as a speaker or a coach or mentor, what have you. So to me, the notion of leaving the program doesn't exist. It's like you came into the program, you made a commitment to it, we made a commitment to you, and that you're now a part of the family. So that whole idea about being a fellow in the 10th Institute is something that you continue to have with you throughout life, right? And so I can tell you, you know, I worked with people 20 years ago, and I can still either ping them on LinkedIn or call them and instantly jump into a 30 or 45-minute phone conversation because of that experience from before. So some people you're going to meet in the future, hopefully from the 10th Institute, if we continue to do the kind of work that we're trying to do now. So, you know, this is about anything you already know in life. You're only going to get out of it what you put into it, right? So the community that you're talking about building has to be, you know, what you want to try to build and get to know other people. And it doesn't have to be transactional. It's not like, oh, I'm going to talk to him or her because they can do X, Y, Z for you. It should be just talking to him or her to get to know who they are and talk about their journey and what they're doing, because you might find someone is dealing with a struggle or a challenge or something that doesn't look apparent, but they are. We all do have things that we're going through. So that's the opportunity about building the, you know, the trust and the team and the community, is to plug into it, you know.
And lastly, you never leave us. So everyone knows.
there's a song about that, right?
Hotel California.
Yeah, you can never leave. Oh, I'm gonna get the
Check out
vibe.
what you can do.
We're here.
I love that.
All right, this side of the church hasn't been talking. So, okay, question, and then you should read the next one. The 10th Institute means what to me?
So I just wanted to ask, like, you know, we talk a lot about like connections and community and stuff. Like from you guys, like y'all on like different boards of other companies and stuff, like, how do you know when you like successfully made a connection and then you maintain it? Cause like, you know, like outside of this, if someone says, hey, you know Benicio, I'm like, yeah, he does like writing and he goes to UNO. But like, you know, that's all I know about Benicio. Is like, you know, like, is that accurate to say, yeah, I have a connection with Benicio? You know what I mean? Like,
No,
how do
that's a
you-
good question.
you know,
I will,
how do you do
I'll
it?
let Perry jump in, but I'll say this. For me, I feel like I'm always working on connections, right? Like always constantly pinging people like, oh, I thought about you today. How's it been? I see that following on LinkedIn is really good because it keeps the conversation professional. I saw that you got a new job. LinkedIn also says that this person has the anniversary of working at a company. Sending them a message. It's really just connecting with people over time so that it's not, I talk to you once and it's over, I know you, but like keeping that connection going, to me, it's always working on a connection. However, I'm young to, professional environment, so I will give to our veterans who could probably weigh in a little bit more.
Yeah, so I will say to you that, hold on one second. I would say to you that, there's, I don't know, like a distribution of connections, right? I have, friends of mine that I worked with 10 years ago that I can jump on a phone call and stay on it for an hour and it seems like it's 10 minutes. And then I have people that I have know casually. So to your point, it's like, oh yeah, I know Benicio, and I can tell a few things. Don't put pressure on yourself that you have to know somebody on a certain level. It should be organic and it should be about your personality and what's driving you to connect, right? I personally, I've talked about this before, I'm an introvert, right? So I feel like in my life, I have a small group of people that I know well, right? There are other more extroverted people that have a bunch of people that they know, maybe their names and the color of their, favorite color or something, right? To me, I'm like trying to connect on a different level, which is why I work on boards. So when I work on boards with Gretchen, with Dr. Miner, Sheila, the people that you see involved in this program, or people that are close to all of us, that we connect, we know their professionalism, we know they're going to be here when they say they're going to be here, and those kinds of things, right? So that's a different level. But I also have people that are like, great to just sort of connect with, and I have people that I just know their name and what they do. And if I needed them, I could do something. So it's a variety of things. So I would say the most thing is don't feel pressured to make connections. Your networking and your connections should be about you and who you are and on your way of doing it. As an introvert, I've gotten much better at trusting people and just learning how to be more open myself, because people are only going to respond to you if there's something to respond to, right? And so being quiet and kind of close in sometimes doesn't necessarily give someone something to attach to and connect with. So I've learned to sort of be a little bit more open and casual. And that varies day to day, So it has to be organic, because that's the main thing. Be authentic, be sincere about your connections, and then the people that you're engaging with are going to see that and respond to it. And if it doesn't connect, it doesn't connect, So.
If that was something I'll add to this. I have a very large network on LinkedIn now, but that's only because I try to make sure to make meaningful connections while connecting on LinkedIn. So this is a meaningful connection because you're doing something, you have the same common goals with being a part of the program. And we should always stay connected, even if it means, Kevin may not physically be here in person with us, but he'll always be connected to us in some fashion. So connecting on LinkedIn should not always be a one-way street, because you don't want to just tap into your network when you need something. It needs to be mutually rewarding and beneficial connection. So as Kenneth was saying, for me, anytime I have somebody that comes up as a birth anniversary, birthday, I message them, hey, happy birthday. But that keeps your name at the forefront of their mind. Or if you're posting, anytime that you post something, you're connecting with your entire network. Anytime that you post something on LinkedIn. So you're touching them every time that you post. So even posting information and make sure that it's substantive information. It just doesn't need to be some fly by night kind of thing. Make sure it means something. Make sure it's quality, a quality post. Because what you don't understand is or may not realize, a future employer could be watching or following you. So that's why you have to make sure that your representation on social media is consistent. Because you never know when some employer, because employers are using LinkedIn to find employees now. So don't go ranting and raving about certain things. Don't do that on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a professional network. It is not Facebook. It's not MySpace. It is not Instagram. But also be aware that they can track you on that too. So just make sure you keep it professional and classy on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'd say the same principle, keep it organic and about yourself, even on LinkedIn. It has to be it's your profile, it's your space.
Right.
Make it about you and part of your, sort of personality, things that you want to post on it and how you engage on it. But employers are definitely looking at it. And I follow young people that I know are in college, that are in internships, some that are in the program, some that are not. Particularly because I'm interested in success of, young people. And you're at the point in your career where you're trying to find a job or start your career. It's a good platform for that. So just engage in it when you're ready to do that.
Do you want to read the last statement?
The 10th Institute is an avenue of resources and a network of people that help shape our thinking and train us for the workplace of our individual interests. And not only an internship, but as a future company executive.
We all stand by that. That's true.
Yeah.
We all agree that this is what's happening right now.
Yes.
How? Give me an example. Somebody, anybody, Benicio.
We just talked for 20 minutes about connections. So I feel like it's pretty indicative of how that applies to our total interests.
Good point. It was shady, but good point. Anyone else?
We decide to apply to this program. That's a good start.
It is a good start. We thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys go so that we can get back on schedule. But can we just clap our hands for Benicio, Dominique, and Kevin, and Destiny, who wrote these statements, and we're so happy to have them. So thank you all. Mentoring.
Do you have the PowerPoint, correction? Did you get trained the PowerPoint?
Yep.
Is there a clicker for me to? Does everybody in Zoom have their little things yet?
We're sending everything now.
Okay, all right. So you guys, hold on a second. We're sending you the icebreaker. Do I need my glasses? I don't think so. Let's see. Time check. Oh, all right. So that means to get us back on schedule. All right. So in your binder, you should have a one-pager that talks about my mentor, ideal mentor profile. So we're going to jump in that. We are at a point in the program where many of you are finishing your summer, you're getting ready to go into the fall. You've had some internship experience under your belt. And so I think we are at a critical point where getting mentors assigned is critical to the program and critical part of your development. And so we want to make sure we're struck to drive on that. So one part of delivering on that is to identify, from your perspective, what does that mentor look like? So I know Carrie has a mentor. Who else in the room has a mentor? Okay, Kagan? Andrella, who else? So let's talk about those. So do you mind sharing about who your mentor is and how's that going?
Yeah, so my mentor is Dr. Schultz. She has like PhD, like all the letters. Like
She's got a bunch of alphabets
Yeah,
after her last name.
you know, she does lab research. She's done like oncology stuff. She's done pharmacology. She kind of, you know, throughout her career, she's gone through different like individual fields, all into lab research. Right now, she's studying at Baylor. She's working in their labs on some oncology stuff, you know, like cancer research with rats and things like that. That's what she's working on right now. Yeah.
So then, can you just share about your mentoring, your relationship, and that type of stuff? So how long have you been with her?
Since, I want to say March or April. Since April, me and Dr. Charles, you know, we meet once a month on Zoom. You know, just talk about how school's going, I give her updates on, you know, my internship. You know, she gives me feedback. She gives me like extra work to do to kind of help me start to plan out what I'm going to do right after I graduate, things like that. You know, a lot of the things we come in and do, Dr. Schultz has already had me like think about it and kind of like the whole development plan thing. She's kind of been keeping me ahead on that to try to, you know, I don't have to make a decision now, but to be aware that like you're about to graduate, so make sure you have something, you know, some type of, you know, plan or format you're gonna go with, you know, for the summer and all that.
Yep, awesome. John Joe, you want to talk about your mentorship?
Sure. So my mentor is Sabrina Farmer, and she's a VP at Google. So we actually got to connect because I won her scholarship because she's an alumni at UNO. And she was in the computer science department, and you know, she felt like she was the only girl, so she decided to do the scholarship. So we meet once a month. So I'm actually meeting her next Friday, and she already knows I'm in this program, and I have an internship. She kind of guides me through like life stuff, or if I need to send her a message, like I'm having trouble with this or that, she'll email me or send me a text message and we'll talk about it. We usually talk about things that's going on within our lives at that moment, or we've been thinking about things. Like last session, we talked about the internship, and I didn't know what I learned at the internship. And I was kind of like, what do I put on my application? Because it's not technically within my field. And she said, well, tell me some things that you did do, you know? And I told her, and she explained to me that while you think you're not learning anything, you're learning stuff. You just have to take it one step at a time and really figure out, what did you learn? Write down everything that you're doing. And that's actually my homework assignment before I talk to her next Friday. But, you know, she kind of guides me and tells me like, you shouldn't be too worried about certain things, you know, you're on the right track and stuff. And, you know, just having her there to like guide me through it, and someone that can relate to what I feel within the field, like just being a female in the computer science field, like a male dominated field, you know, and just, you know, being comfortable and confident in yourself as an individual within the field, you know, and other things too, but
Great.
mostly
Yeah.
just everything.
Thanks for sharing.
So I actually, can everyone hear me okay? Like, I'm kind of congested, I can't really hear myself. I promise I don't have the COVID.
Thank you for that promise.
So the university was doing some kind of like program, that's why it's very important to check your emails. It was like UNO Matrix or something like that, and it was just collecting you with like, a lump or whatever, and I got matched with someone and she's amazing. We currently haven't like met recently because I've had a lot going on, but she was very, very helpful during the semester. Um, she has a lot of degrees and a lot of credentials and very experienced, and she's amazing. I'm sorry I can't rattle it all off the top of my head, but she's like my main mentor because I can relate to her and she can relate to me. It's important to have a mentor who can understand your life experiences. Like, she's a Black woman, she works in science, so she can give you more of an insight than someone who isn't.
TikTok, huh?
Don't even know.
But also she isn't the only mentor. Even if I don't have like an official mentor that I meet with like, every month or every so many weeks, there's always people who I find networking wise who are just more experienced in whatever it is that I want to learn about. And I try to learn as much from them as possible in whatever kind of time or capacity that I have. Like, get it. He's kind of even a mentor when it comes to like, tips on like organization or how to just keep it together. So it's like the little things. Y'all don't make him cry all day.
I'm clean out those teardrops.
It's just
Anybody else want to share a mentor? So, in the room, if you don't have a mentor, I know we kind of talked about this a few months ago, about the mentor. Why not? Is your like, I will bypass that. I'm going to go down the other elevator. Anyone like opposed to having a mentor?
I just find her in person.
No, it's just more of a not have the opportunity or the process, would you say? Okay, all right. So what I will tell you from personally, my life, I am the same way. I have several mentors. You all met our board chair was here for our meeting. He is was very similar to what John Jarrell talked about. In my career, up until the point where I met him, I had never had a Black male in human resources that I could connect with. All of the people that I had worked with were either female or males, majority, or other diverse, but never really a Black male in human resources at a senior level that I could connect with. And so instantly made the connection and, was constantly challenged and continue to be constantly challenged by having him to talk to about a variety of different things. I also have, mentors or people who are important on personal. So people that I talk to about, more personal choices versus business things that are going on in my life. And so there are people that I talk to who are entrepreneurs and running their own business about the challenges and all of the different things that go on there. So you will have multiple and can have multiple for different reasons. So you could have someone that is in your field of study that maybe is a different gender or maybe is a different ethnicity, right? So it's not necessarily have, specifically a mentor who is the same gender, same ethnicity. I do think that there are some nuances that come out there, as John Drell and Kagan talked about, that, you can get from that experience because of the relatability and some sort of instant sort of trust. So So we're there. So the form that you have in front of you is really an opportunity for us to start to dig into what is important to you so that we can start to work on matching, right? So we were successful in Gretchen really having someone in her network that worked out really well for Kareem. We want to kind of be a little bit more purposeful about that for the rest of the students. Work on adding mentoring. That's an important part of this program, is having a mentor along with your coaches. Some of you have gotten coaches who have been pinch hitting as mentors as well. So, those relationships can continue to work and develop. So just take a minute and start to fill out your form, and then I'm going to walk through, you don't have a form.
No, I know.
You know, Kenneth. So we'll get you a form. And then, Kenneth, we're going to email this.
They should already have an email to them.
Okay. So everybody, can you put faces on the screen? So go ahead and fill out your form. They're not waving back. They can't see me.
They should be able to see you.
Oh, hi, Charlotte. Are you back in the US?
Yeah,
Awesome.
probably.
You're in Houston?
No, actually, I'm in New Orleans. I just couldn't, yeah.
We can't hear you.
I'm in New Orleans right now, actually. I moved like last week.
Oh.
I think I know the problem.
You think you know the problem? Okay.
Do we have to?
Hi, Miss Parker. Okay. So you all have the document for your mentor, the mentor profile. Just fill those out, scan them, and then send them in to us. Okay? Send them to make sure program manager Mira Roberts gets your form when you're done. Do either of you have I see Marvell in and Sydney. Do you have a mentor you want to talk to us about who is helping you out, mentor relationship? Anybody want to share?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hey, Sydney.
Hello, how are you?
Doing great.
I actually don't have a mentor. I'm open to looking though.
Awesome.
I
Okay.
haven't been able to find one in my field.
I have someone I'd love to introduce you in your field.
Okay, great.
So, awesome. All right. So we'll give you a couple more minutes to fill out your forms. All right, one more minute and then we'll regroup. All right. So let's talk about mentor. A couple of people have shared some of their mentor stories. If you were gonna, we were gonna build like a profile of a mentor, give some characteristics that we think are important for a mentor. Can you guys hear me? They can't see. Characteristics for.
Hear you.
Hey, Marvell.
Howdy. Hold on a second. My stuff's kind of tripping.
So characteristics of a mentor. What do we think? What's important for a good mentor? Flexibility. So tell me more about that.
Being flexible in schedule, if you need to set appointments or reschedule appointments.
Yep.
And being flexible in their knowledge, because, you know, you may have a question, they may not know something about it, but they're like, you know what, I'm gonna find someone that does.
Yeah, yeah, great. So there's flexibility there and resourceful, right? That's another piece of that. What else? Experience, yeah. Right, so they've got some time either in a field or just in life, if you will, right? Okay, what else?
Someone that challenges you.
Someone that challenges you. Okay, so so talk a little bit more about the challenging piece of it.
So for me, my mentor, like some things I don't notice about myself that she kind of like points out to me.
Sure.
Like she gave me an example, and I'm like, you're totally right about this. So like I want to do things, I have ideas what I want to do, and she said I go up like a roller coaster, and then I talk myself out of it, and I just plummet. I'm like, oh wow, I really didn't notice that. And people said I'm pessimistic, and I'm like, maybe I am. And then when she told me that, she said that, you know, you have an idea and you're excited, you get the end result, but you get overwhelmed with making checkpoints and goals for yourself. And she was like, you know what? The idea that you have, I want you to keep going with it and set many goals for yourself. So she kind of challenged me to overcome being overwhelmed at times and seeing the end result, and I'm like, I can't do this, you know. And just having that in the back of my mind, knowing that this is how I am and this is how people see me, it'll make it's easier for me to understand, you know, what I need to accomplish and what my goals should be to achieve this thing.
Right. Yeah, so I heard you say really two big things here. One is challenging you, and the other one, you remember the analogy I used about having the chocolate on the back of your white pants, right? That someone sees you doing something and then they're comfortable with telling you about it, right? Because it's important for you to know that about yourself, right? That's important in a mentoring relationship for that person to challenge you, but also tell you the truth. Tell you those things that you don't know about yourself that you can't. So the other piece that we talked about, and even in the Striving While Black text, Kwame talks about this, that you have to be open to the feedback, right? Because if I'm your mentor and I'm telling you that there are things that you do and you're defensive about it or even argumentative about it, then as your mentor, I may not want to tell you those truthful things anymore because of the way you respond to that feedback, right? So an important thing on the mentee side of things is to be open to hearing those sort of tough and challenging things, and then being willing to do something about it, right? Yes. Yes.
So, my internship, I was working in a lab in LSU doing bench work. Long story short, I don't like bench work. God bless all of the hardworking scientists out there, couldn't be me. And it's important to know what you're good at. So you should be open to receiving criticism like, hey, maybe this isn't for you, but you should also be able to recognize in the back of your mind, like, if I want to do this, I can. Like, of course, if I wanted to be a scientist and, don my white coat, I could, but my skills could be used elsewhere. So let yourself when you're taking that criticism. Yeah, and I hope you how you're out there doing the science thing, because it's not for me. It's not for me.
Yeah, that's a really great point. So you all know we've been taking you through predictive index, right? Predictive index for us is that place of knowing who you are and how you are, right? So I know that I struggle with the checklist thing and having a written plan, right? I know that I'm pressure prompted or a procrastinator, as other people say it, right? So I know those things about myself. And I think that it's important. And I also know that there are jobs, and particularly in human resources, that are not for me. I would be miserable in not doing that job all day, every day, right? And so it is important. And particularly if you're getting feedback from a mentor, you have to sort of take that, and I think that's what Hagen's saying, is you take it into context, right? Because they may be saying to you, well, you're not really good at this, you didn't do well on this. You go like, okay, but this is not where I intend to spend my entire career. I need to have this experience along the way to know what it's about, but it's not the thing that I'm going to spend my time doing, right? So having some clarity around what's your longer term goal, that's the part about having an individual development plan and a plan where you know where you're going to. So you can say, hey, I'm going to go over here and do this thing. It's for experience. So I know how that looks and feels and works, but I'm not going to stay there forever, right? And also, as we'll talk about with, going through job offers and stuff like that, right? Some of you, we had discussions about your internship. Like, is this a place that you think you want to go? What does this work mean to you potentially, right? Because we also want to make sure that even as an intern, you're going somewhere that is going to fit who you are, and it's not going to be stressful or something that you hate doing, right? So those are all, I think this is a really great point of the understanding yourself, and also making sure that you're getting people around you to give you truthful and candid, insightful feedback. At the end of the day, I will tell you, at the end of the day, you're in control of your career and the things that you make. So even if you have a mentor, someone you trust, if you're doing something and taking steps because they told you that was a great thing, if it's not really what you want to do, that's a bad thing. Right? So mentor shouldn't be the destiny person that's telling you. True.
I was going to add, you know, talking about what we think a mentor should be. I just want to add, I think a mentor should definitely have a good understanding of yourself. Like, you know how we kind of talk about knowing yourself. I think your mentor should have that same skill, and they have to be honest. Because I know that's one of the things I love the most about a mentor is that, you know, if I ask her, hey, when you graduated and got your bachelor's, you went straight into grad school. And I asked her, why did you make that decision? Why didn't you take a year off or work a job until then? And, you know, she was open and candid enough to tell me, well, when I was your age and I graduated, I didn't have much of a social life. I wasn't in a need to like provide financially for my family, so I was able to go into grad. You know, just little things like that. I appreciate her being able to tell me, you know, I made this decision in my past because of X, Y, and Z. You know, things like that. I feel like that's really important. You know, it's kind of like talking to yourself in the future because you're talking to someone that like is gonna do what they're doing and they did what you're trying. So you know, you can kind of I pick her brain all the time of like decisions I'm trying to make. What did you do? You know, what affected you when you made these decisions? She'll easily tell me, well, you know, at the time I had this going on. Yes. Or, you know, working at this type of place has these pros and these cons. You know, things like that. I think that's very important.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely agree. You know, I'm sure Dr. Meyer, Gretchen, myself, Kenneth, we get asked about steps that a person took to get to, like, how did you get into HR? Okay, well, you know, it wasn't a straight line, right? And so it depends on, you know, what happened in that person's life. And so your life is different. And so you have to know that. And so asking a path about how someone got from point A to point B is just for you to have an idea. It's not that that's what you have to do exactly to get to that point, right? And I think that's where, you know, we can get to know a person's skill set, what your desires are, what you're interested in, and then help introduce you to options that then you still, again, make a choice about what you want to do. It's going to always come back to, does this fit you and what's right for you, right? What I did 10 years ago was right for me. Some cases was wrong for me. So I learned from that experience. The mentor is there really to help have a discussion with you about it, because there's a lot of really scary, you know, choices that you really need to work through with someone, just bouncing ideas. And that's where that mentor comes. Other characteristics. Marvell, were you trying to tell us something earlier?
Not necessarily. I was just saying hi, but I can. Just generous with, you know, generous with your experience was a trait I would want in a mentor.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. What I want to do for our last couple of minutes here is I would like to get the guys and girls who are on Zoom, you have your icebreaker. So we want to go through icebreakers. Your mentor forms, I want to make sure we get all of those. We can get copies of them here and then give them back to you. So you have a copy, and then we're going to take them, put them into our database. And we will start working with your coaches and stuff like that on getting mentors. And in particular, if you have people on your list that you're interested in having as a mentor, we'll start working on trying to identify where we can get you connected to those individuals. So, all right. So who wants to go first?
If we're doing the icebreaker, I can go first.
Thank you, Ms. Parker.
Of course. My name is Kiara Parker. A song that gets stuck in my head is Essence by Wizkid and Tim's. And the title of my autobiography, honestly, I don't think that right now I can come up with such a great name. So I skipped that question because I feel as though it would be something really immaculate. And if I could instantly learn another language without studying it, it would be Spanish because I mean, I'm pretty sure I'll have to come across Spanish people in my hospital, or the people who speak Spanish in my hospital. So I would really like to learn Spanish. That's really all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can go next.
Okay.
So hi, my name's Charlotte. A song that always gets stuck in my head. It's a song called Watermelon by Tom Rosenthal. Literally, the guy is just singing watermelon all over, like, repeatedly. Yeah. And then the title of my autobiography would probably be that one kid who can't sit still for too long. And then if I could learn another language, it would probably be Russian or Japanese, just because I think learning the different alphabet as well and not really having to study to learn it would be very practical.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Sydney, Marvell.
Yeah, I can go next.
Okay.
So hi, my name is Sydney. Really any song can get stuck in my head. I just randomly started singing They Know by Shawty Low yesterday. So any song really. The title of my autobiography would be I have a tattoo that says The Rose That Grew from the Concrete, so that would probably be the title of my autobiography. If I could instantly learn another language, it would be Japanese.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. First, forgive anything that might go on in the background. Ops are going on right now. It's real loud. I had to find a small corner. But anyway, my name is Marvell Wilson. The song that always gets stuck in my head is The Blue by Buddy. The title of my autobiography would be Marvell, not Marvel. If I could instantly learn another language without studying it, it would be Yoruba.
What's the language?
Yoruba.
Yoruba? Never even heard about that.
Yoruba. What's the Nigerian language? Yoruba. It's like a.
Awesome. Great. Learned something new today. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so I think we have. Okay, so we are on a 5-minute break. So we've gotten ourselves back on schedule. So 5-minute break. So make sure we get your mentor forms turned in and then break.
Everybody.
10:45. That's more than 5 minutes. Okay, what time do you want everyone back? Tell us.
I say 10-minute break, 10:40.
10:40.
Technically 10:30.
10:41. Okay.
1, 2, 3, break.
You're the best.
You can play the Have a Well commercial.